Imagine this. You used to be the one who always texted first, always checked in, always tried to maintain the connection. And then one day, you let go. Not because you stopped loving, but because you were tired. And at that very moment, like a habit suddenly interrupted, he began to notice, began to remember, began to turn back and look at something he never thought he might lose. You wonder, why do men only start to miss you when you're no longer there? Is it love, instinct, or just an awakened ego? The answer is more complicated than you think. I'm a behavioral psychology expert, and in this article, I'm going to share with you 5 proven psychological mechanisms that explain why men often start to feel the lack, the emptiness, and the sense of loss right when you stop chasing them. This isn't about playing games or cheap tricks. It's about how their minds truly work. And the best part, you don't need to pretend to be someone else. You just need to understand the following. He got used to your presence, like people get used to streetlights every night, always there, always present, always ready. You were the one asking how his day was, texting him whenever you had a free moment, creating for him that comforting sense that, with you around, he didn't have to worry much. But then you slowed down. The goodnight text stopped. The steady voice checking his morning schedule was gone. He thought you were just busy. But as the days passed and the phone remained silent, his heart started to feel the emptiness he had never noticed before. Psychology calls this psychological reactance. When people sense something is slipping away, they suddenly crave it more than ever. You don't need to disappear. You just need to stop being always available. And that small shift awakens a quiet voice inside him. Am I losing something valuable? You were the one keeping the connection alive. You checked in, sent funny video links, remembered his mother's birthday, silently held the relationship together with your one-sided effort. But then, you stopped texting, stopped chasing. You were no longer the one initiating. At first, he might not notice, but as the silent days pass, he starts checking his phone more often. He no longer feels secure in your affection, and that feeling is deeply unsettling for a man. Psychology calls this the scarcity effect. When something becomes harder to get, it instantly becomes more valuable. And when you're no longer always there, no longer loving him with your all, you don't disappear, you become important. An old song comes on while he's walking down the street. A familiar perfume from someone passing by. A corner of a coffee shop you two used to frequent. Any of these can become a trigger that awakens memories. He may not be someone who lives by emotions, but men remember feelings through space and imagery more than you think. He'll sit in a familiar place, look at the empty spot where you used to be, and suddenly feel nostalgic. That's nostalgia, one of the most powerful catalysts of longing. And you don't need to do anything to create it. You just need to live truly and fully. Memories will take care of the rest. Sometimes silence is the strongest message of all. You start exercising, eating healthy, learning to care for yourself, training your mind, not for praise, not for anyone to come back, but simply so you can live more fully. And then you appear in a photo radiant, beautiful, full of presence. No longer the fragile version of the girl who waited. No longer the tired eyes of someone crying quietly through the night. He sees you. Maybe just a quick scroll past, but enough for his heart to ache. Not because you're more beautiful, but because you're thriving without him. That's the glow-up effect when a woman blossoms after heartbreak. She becomes someone the ex no longer has the right to claim. You're no longer alone in the frame. Someone is beside you, maybe just laughing with you in a story. A friend's comment, "She's been glowing lately." A light hug from someone in a photo. All of these are signals. And to him, it's a strike to the heart. Not because you have someone new, but because others see your worth, while he once ignored it. That's social proof. The concept that makes someone realize what they missed out on is exactly what others now desire. And sometimes, that not the longing is what hurts him the most. You don't need to play mind games. You don't need to pretend. You just need to understand and live true. Understand that when you stop chasing, the other person finally has the chance to feel the emptiness. When you stop trying, he's forced to ask himself what he's lost. When you grow, shine, and live in alignment with your true worth, you become someone irreplaceable even to the one who walked away. If you've ever experienced this, or felt something in this article speak to you, leave a comment. Share your story. Maybe your experience will empower someone who needs it. And if you want to keep exploring the psychology of love, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more honest and insightful perspectives, so you can understand better, not just others, but yourself too. Thank you for listening. And remember, love is not something to beg for, but something to be received worthily.